Many have tried to interpret the Bible's prophetic sequences of an upcoming doomsday, the end of the world, or how we know it to be. Such events, like the devilish Edomites, taking total control of the world in a new world order. World War III, destruction and chaos, as well as an intergalactic, dimensional invasion on the planet Earth, the return of a Messiah, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, his true Hebrew name, Yahweh Shai. Hollywood movies and people seem to touch on these things. It can be people who are labeled as conspiracy theorists, whistleblowers that experienced confidential insight, people that have had spiritual encounters and have had visions. Certain Christian preachers and teachers, although the Christian church may lead the people of God astray with their money-hungry schemes, mixing with political agendas and keeping people ignorant to the real-life issues. But through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone are chosen to help the elect see the truth. The nearest and one of the most major Bible prophecies that will lead to the end is the mark of the beast. But what is it, you ask?
Printed mark as a mark branded on a horse to carve, to cut in. Revelation 13 and 16, right? Yeah, read loud. Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. That's plain. What verse you in? 17. Now go from there. We don't got to read on. Go to the 14th chapter. 8. Whoever accepts it, your right hand or in your forehead. Right. That's the chip right here. That's the chip. Hold it up high, brother. So you better get hip.
NFC stands for Near Field Communication, while RFID means Radio Frequency Identification. Both employ radio signals for all sorts of tagging and tracking purposes, sometimes replacing barcodes. So NFC, RFID, it's the same system, but just obviously RFID is well known and is more used, in places like America. NFC is more used in places like Europe, England, right? NFC is still an emerging technology. RFID, however, is currently in widespread use all over the world. But this is 8 years back, so 8 years into the future, 2020, obviously the technology has heightened, right? And this is what? Tagging and tracking purposes, invasion of privacy. And back in radio frequency identification, just wanted to get this one point. Radio frequency identification, RFID, uses electromagnetic fields. Electromagnetic fields, keep that in mind, to automatically identify and track tags attached to objects. In RFID, tag consists of a tiny radio transponder, a radio receiver and transmitter. And keep in mind, someone will be controlling this. Yeah? the elites behind the scenes will be controlling this. Probably be in like some form of a server, you know. That's why you can receive and transmit and transpond all of this. It's a communication. So you're getting communication from somewhere, you know. The headquarters may be giving updates and stuff like that. Just like how on your computer you get updates, in your games you get updates digitally. Same thing, man. Alright, but this chip, this implantable microchip will be inside your body. Whatever part of your body, doesn't matter. And if you take it, you're destroyed. When triggered by an electromagnetic, keep in mind that word, electromagnetic. When triggered by an electromagnetic interrogation pulse from a nearby RFID reader device, the tag transmits digital data, usually an identifying inventory number, back to the reader. This number can be used to inventory goods. You know, there are two types: passive tags. Passive tags are powered by energy from the RFID reader's interrogation. Radio waves. Keep in mind that as well. Radio waves. Yeah. Why is electromagnetic radiation harmful? Remember I told you to keep in mind the word electromagnetic. So RFID, remember, stands for radio frequency identification. So from the jump, radio frequency radiation is found to have more thermal related effects. A person's body temperature can be raised, which could result in death if exposed to high dosage of RF, radio frequency radiation. So it's harmful, right? And it can result to death, it can kill you, fatal. Focused RF radiation can also cause burns on the skin or cataracts to form in the eyes. So this is harmful. Why would you put something harmful in your body? Why? Kind of reminds me of a scripture. Let me get straight to the point. This is Revelation 18. You can read from the top. And this is concerning Babylon the Great, which we believe is America today, because it fits perfectly with Bible prophecy and characteristics. But anyways, Revelations 18:13, and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. This is what these elites are gonna have, man. Well, that's what they already have now, slaves and souls of men, man, because they want to claim your soul. They want to claim your soul, man. Yeah, and the mark of the beast, the RFID NFC chipping system, that's going to be the perfect, solution of them having complete slaves and true souls of men, man.
The imagination of the scientists is limitless. In these images, a bull charges at a cape shaken in front of him. A few moments later, an implant is placed in his brain and he's released back into the ring. At each charge, he receives a shock that stops him in his tracks. Documents that are now declassified show that more sophisticated implants were tested on human subjects.
There's all kinds of people who believe and people who don't believe, and it's a debate about do you believe or don't believe. I'm always interested in what are the documents saying. So the documents clearly describe implanting electrodes in people's brains, activating the electrode from a remote transmitter, and changing the person's behavior from angry, pounding the wall, sitting there just staring.
Behind Karen's ear is a scar, and she doesn't know what it's from.
Once my therapist really understood that I had really been experimented on by the CIA, she said to me, you know, just for the heck of it, let me look, because we'd read about, there's been information about these implants. And I'm like, okay. And it was actually there. I showed you. I went to a plastic surgeon who told me it was a surgical scar, but there's nothing in my medical history, nothing in a medical record that shows any kind of problem ever behind my right ear, or any incision or any surgery or anything else. But there it is.
Karen has been compensated by the American government for her ordeal. But like many rare victims who speak up, for a long time, she was considered crazy. What stopped the journey down this destructive path? Even if the head of the CIA, Richard Helms, tried to minimize the scale of the experiments, the victims' testimonies contradict him. The inquiry commissions follow, each reaching more and more witnesses, like this woman, Chris DeNicola. Her father put her in the hands of a reputed CIA doctor, Dr. Green, when she was 12 years old.
His objective was to gain control of my mind and train me to be a spy assassin. Dr. Green had electrodes on my body, including my head. He used what looked like an overhead projector and repeatedly said he was burning different images into my brain while a red light flashed aimed at my forehead. In between each sequence, he used electric shock on my body and told me to go deeper and deeper, while repeating each image would go deeper into my brain, and I would do whatever he told me to do. Dr. Green moved on to wanting me to kill dolls that looked like real children.
Then there was Claudia Mullen, admitted at age 7.
In 1957 and 1984, I became a pawn in a government scheme. Its ultimate goal was mind control and to create the perfect spy, all through the use of chemicals, radiation, drugs, hypnosis, electric shock, isolation in tubs of water, sleep deprivation, brainwashing, verbal, physical, emotional, and sexual abuse. I was exploited unwittingly for nearly 3 decades of my life, and the only explanations given to me were that, quote, the end justifies the means, and, quote, I was serving my country in their bold effort to fight communism.
Inquiry reports that resulted from these terrifying testimonies revealed one thing for certain. The experiments ended in disaster. In its insane quest for a robot human or a truth serum, the CIA failed.
Receive his mark in his forehead. Read again. It says, and a dark angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast. That's the worshiping part. That, when you follow this man's system, all right? Go ahead. And his image. And his image. Like if you become a cop, because eventually they're going to have them cops are going to get that mark. All right? And his image. That's the worshiping part. But it goes deeper than that. Once you worship them and follow them, there's another thing you got to do to prove that you worship and you follow them. Go ahead. Loyalty. Go ahead. And receive his mark. And receive his mark. Exactly. Karagma, to stamp, to imprint, to cut in. So it's something that they actually going to put in you. Different from Ezekiel 9 and 4, mark, meaning sawa, meaning to be exempt from judgment. Right. All right. Brother Dictionary. Yeah, brother. This is mark. So that's why nobody. That's why down there in the desert of Brooklyn. That's why they pass by. They don't listen to your stupid ass. All right. And then you would never come out here because you don't want this heat up here, man. Right. You don't want this heat up here. You want to stay in that nice area of Brooklyn where people walk by you like you fucking half crazy. Right. You want to come out here in the battlefield where the heat is at. Right. That's right. That's right. All right. That's right. Go ahead. That's why we getting on your ass, man. Yeah. And that's why we calling your name. You and Barack Shah talking about you got your fucking house in order. I'm gonna see how much your house is gonna be in order when they start issuing them chips on your ass and your children. Right. I'm gonna see how much in order you are. Now, if you're a man of the Lord, you don't have to worry about that. All right. All right. Go straight to the main point. Go ahead. It says Mark.
Whoever accepts it, your right hand or in your forehead.
Right. That's the chip right here.
That's the chip.
Hold it up high, brother.
So you better get hip.
Don't you dare touch me! Stand back! No! No!
Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, Amen.